And we're rolling along here as we visit with all 30 members of the distinguished NSCAA 30 Under 30 program. And now we head down to Tennessee, where Carrie Hill is a high school coach for boys and girls at a wonderful school in Chattanooga. And Carrie, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, tell us the name of the school you are right now and give us your path, how you got there.
I work at East Hamilton School. It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee. When I graduated from my master's from University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, I began teaching here at East Hamilton. And I had coached at another school for a few years, and I'd coached middle school and high school and some club stuff in Chattanooga. And then decided to just kind of permanently coach at East Hamilton, have the opportunity to work with a great guy who also does the men's and women's programs. And I've loved it since I got here. So this is my third year at East Hamilton.
And talk about the differences between coaching boys and girls and how you've adapted to that.
It is very interesting, and there are some big differences. There's, obviously the difference in just the guys and girls, where the girls kind of internalize everything. If you say something negative that maybe happened in the game, they're all going to think it was about them. Boys are going to kind of blame it on each other for the most part. But boys sort of have that natural competitive edge that comes out all the time. And girls, sometimes I find that you have to kind of try to find how to tap into it. They can be a little bit more of a challenge emotionally as far as reaching them and motivating them. But, that always depends on the player and the personality. I love the guys' level of aggressiveness with each other in training, and that they can leave it on the field. And then the girls, like I said, sometimes it's just a matter of figuring out what motivates them individually and helping them by staying positive and kind of building that, that positive reinforcement and how we can get them to become a better player and look at themselves and not just focus on the negatives all the time.
Well, Carrie, that's a great answer, and we all know that coaching is much more than X's and O's. I would think, in the fact that you're coaching a girls' team and then later on coaching a boys' team, that's a perfect example. I mean, the job can never be boring, right?
No, it's never boring.
Now,
That's why I love it.
what about what about the boys? Particularly since you're so young, how do they respond when Coach Carrie Hill comes walking up and saying, "Hey, I'm your coach for the season"? Talk a little bit about that dynamic.
They are very respectful. I've found, because I've coached boys for a long time as well, and I've found that you have to kind of lay the law down early so they know that there's no room to mess around or to, try to get out of something because I might be, soft or just let them have their way in practice and not be hard on them. So once you kind of set the tone, they're very, respecting, and they know ultimately that you are the coach and that it's a role that they have to respect.
Well, we know that you played at East Tennessee State University. When did the light go on? When was it that you said, "Hey, I want to be a coach"?
I think it's always sort of been in the back of my mind. Obviously, you love the game and you're passionate about the game, particularly as a player growing up. But I think that when I was in graduate school at UTC and started to play club soccer for the women and sort of found myself, we didn't have a coach. We kind of coached each other. Found myself taking on that role. And then shortly thereafter was asked to kind of help out with a couple of high school teams and then a middle school team in town, and just started to really love it. And in the beginning it was sort of, okay, well, I can coach based off of my experiences as a player and what I heard other coaches say. But as time has gone on and things progressed, it really becomes more for me about continuing my education as a coach and getting more of an understanding and not just kind of staying static in what I know about the game and what I can pass on to players.
Well, indeed, you're going to be able to get more education now as a member of the NSCAA's 30 Under 30. Obviously, before you got there, you had to know a little bit about the NSCAA. When did you start working with the NSCAA, and how great experience has that been?
It's been wonderful. I probably started working with a couple years ago. I think the guy that I coach with here at East Hamilton has been a longtime member, and a couple of other guys in town that coach locally have been longtime members, and so they've always, always talked about it, and I was always jealous about going to the conventions because they go every year. But I love just getting on the website and looking up the coaching education, the resources. That's one of my favorite things because all the articles and the lesson plans. There's something really fascinating about seeing how other coaches present information, how they run their sessions. You keep an open mind, and I think there's stuff you can take from all sorts of different things that are posted on the website.
Well said. One of the key parts of this program is your mentor, and then, of course, the opportunity to come to the convention. Let's start with your mentor. Who's your mentor, and how's that going?
It's going really well. Her name is Donna Barkley, and she works and coaches at Abingdon High School in Virginia, and she has just been a great, great resource. Even, early on, we just started doing this a few months ago. She gives me input and feedback that are more, is more on a female level than necessarily something I would get from, a male coach in town. And two, I pick the brains of the guys in town so much that it's great to have another perspective and someone who doesn't, know the day-to-day players and the roles and what our games have been like. And so she gives me input, not just on specifics of a game or sessions or, what's going on in a season. She can give me input that's much more broad, coaching career-wise, coaching, what is your vision, all sorts of things. And so it's been a great, great resource to have her in the picture. It's been really nice, yeah.
Carrie, you said that you're going to go to the convention. I think they're trying to have all 30 members at the convention, which I think that's an exciting part about going because you'll be able to share ideas with the other members of the 30 under 30. What are you looking forward to at the convention in Philadelphia?
I'm just pumped to go and to be surrounded by soccer and to have so many different people that share a love for the game and that want to better themselves as coaches. And then being able to, bond and meet and hang out with all the other 30 under 30 people is going to be really cool because we have so much in common and we're all kind of in the same boat and have been in the same boat as far as being young coaches. It's going to be a great experience. It really is. And I'm just looking forward to getting input and getting information from all different types of sessions and being able to just bring all that home, and just have it as a resource.
Finally, what kind of teams are you going to have there this year in Chattanooga?
Our girls' season actually just ended 2 days ago in the postseason, and so we will hit preseason with the boys pretty soon and then start out in February with their season. And right now I'm working with U11 boys and just a lot of technical stuff, just getting touches on the ball because at an early age I think that's something that they really, really need and that we see a big need for in the community overall, but they do wear me out somewhat.
Well said. Well, certainly you're doing a great job and a great choice for this 30 under 30 program. Thanks so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Dean. Bye-bye.
Okay.